I'd like to introduce the Speaker of the House, Pete Schwartzkopf. He's also kind of my boss, but not really. And he represents the 14th representative district. It's your turn to speak now, Pete.
Well, I'm here. I know you guys want to answer me some questions and everything, but I think the biggest question out there that you should have, besides what's going on at Legg Hall, is what are we doing on redistricting? And the answer right now is absolutely nothing, because I don't have anything to do it with. We now know how many people we have in our state, but we don't have a breakdown. We don't have the demographics. We don't have anything. So if you take the total number of people and you divide it by 41, it'll tell you how many people will be in a district, and it's about between 24 and 25,000. So when I did the redistricting in 2012, the average number of a district was about 22,000, and you're allowed to be 5% above and 5% below it. So you had a 10% leeway in there. So let's just say anywhere from, just say 21 plus to 23. When I did that, I had, I think it was 17,000 voters and 23 or 22,000 people. Right now, if we go with the numbers that they just gave us, there's going to be about 24,000, let's say 24,500 people in a district. So the only thing I can look at right now are the registered voters in each district. And that gives me a halfway idea about what's going to happen. So, and keep in mind, that is not the total number. The district size is people, not voters. But right now, the 38th district has 27,858 voters. So that means just in the voters, you have to lose 3,000 people out of that district. So when you start to throw the extra 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000, whatever it turns out to be, number of people that are in the district, that district's it's going to have to be changed drastically. The three biggest by voter count, the three biggest districts are your district, 27,858. The next one is SMIC with the 20th district at 26,657. And the third is me with 25,016. So there's three districts that we are already above what the average district size is going to be when we get done redistricting. So I've been trying to figure out how we're going to do this, how we're going to collapse districts. When you go to look at how you move people around, you look at the lowest number of districts, you find two of them that are somewhere close to each other, and you combine them and then take whatever is above what the average is, and you feed it to all the districts around there. So right now, the two lowest districts in terms of registered voters is the 23rd with 13,000 voters, and the 25th, which has 12,800 voters. So they're 10, 12,000 voters less than what we have down here. So I don't know. I'm looking at this thing, and it's going to be a problem. I see we have the city of Wilmington has a couple, I think it's three minority districts. Federal law says I have to try to keep those districts at all costs, if possible. So Dorsey Walker, who is one of them, has 14,500 people. So she's going to have some people put into her district. Stephanie Bolden has the other district. It's 16,351. She's going to probably need some people as well. Namdi has 17,000. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to pull these people from, but I've got to try to maintain those three districts. So that's where I'll start when we get ready to do it. I'll start at Wilmington and try to maintain those three districts. I really believe that the lines are going to change a lot, because there's going to be a lot of shuffling around. There's definitely going to be one district closed, maybe two. And I think one district will probably, don't hold me to any of this, because I'm doing it strictly by the voter registration, and that's not accurate. So, or the numbers are accurate. It's not accurate on how it's going to play out to people in every district when it's all said and done. But it looks to me like I'll probably have to move closer to the highway. what's his face, Collins will probably have to swing around, come out of Millsboro a little bit and go down to take some of Ronnie Gray's, some of the 38th district. I mean, I don't have much choice when you have the ocean on one side and Maryland below it. So I can't do very much with it. Anyway, I think I'd probably end up putting a district somewhere between Angola, across Long Neck and over into Oak Orchard. That would be my guess if I had to make an educated guess right now. So it's going to be difficult, and we're not expecting the numbers until September, maybe August. We have to have them done. What is the election date next year? Does anybody know right offhand? Or November what?
No, it's the first Tuesday,
Yeah.
November
Yes.
2nd.
All right. So we have to have this done by November 2nd because our Constitution says to run in a district, you have to live in that district for a year before the election. So that's my deadline. I have to have it done before that. Now, that is making this district, getting it approved, and passing it in the House and the Senate. So we have to get that done. And we're not going to have the numbers probably till September. I'm hoping August. But if it comes in September, that's a pretty tight timetable. And the problem I had last time was they gave us the numbers, I want to say late February, they gave us the demographic numbers, but they never gave us the political number for another month. So that could cause a problem as well. So I'd look at this thing as nothing but problems coming up and nothing but headaches. And I'm going to be spending a lot of my time, I think, up in Dover trying to put this thing together in the month of September and October. So usually when we get the numbers in February and March, we have a timetable June 30th, and it's tight getting it done there, trying to do the public hearings and different things like that we want to do. So I don't know, something's going to probably have to give. And I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be. So any questions?
I have one.
Okay. No, you
Mike?
cannot have next Thursday off.
Well, I wasn't going to ask for next Thursday. I show up, rain or shine, bloody head or lost in Dover.
Yes. You do.
Anyway, what I was going to ask about is, are we going to be getting any seats from the Newark, Pike Creek area?
Are we going to get them from there, like closing one down?
Well, maybe combining one?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, I will tell you this, I will go with the numbers take me. I'm not looking to take anybody in particular out or merge their district with another one, but I'll go where the numbers take me. And I mean, the last time I did it, I got up around Wilmington and I got north of Wilmington and the Claymont and Arden area and all that stuff. And there's like 4 districts around, and then one district was right in the middle. So I tried to close every other district because the 4 around or 5 around were all Democratic seats. The one in the middle is a Republican seat, and it just so happened to be the minority whip. So I tried to close every other district down and take their people and move it over, and it did not work. It just didn't work as well as closing down the one in the middle and taking their 18,000 people and then shoving it into 5 different districts and make them whole. So Gilligan was speaker at the time. He came running in one day. He said, "You cannot do this." I said, "What?" He said, "You cannot close down a minority leader's district." And I said, "Bob, have you looked at the numbers?" He said, "No." I said, "Look at the numbers, come back here and tell me I shouldn't close that district." So he came back in like 2 days later and he goes, "Well, okay, but you're telling him, I'm not telling him." So I called Greg Lavelle, and I told him, I said, "Greg, I need to talk to you about the redistricting in your district." He said, "Pete, let me make it easy on you. We closed my district down too." So I don't know how this is going to play. He could have made it really hard for me if he wanted to. But he realized that it was the easiest thing to do was to close his district and just distribute his 18,000 people to other areas. So I have to look at that. We have the 2 districts that are the lowest or on they have Maryland to the left. So if I close one of those districts down, I have to make the other one whole, and then I can take people and only do people to the left or to the right of them. So I might end up having to move somewhere in the middle there so that I can close down and get more districts filled up. The last time we have 24 districts north of the canal. Out of those 24 districts, one had too many people, one had within the 5% range, and 22 needed thousands of people put into their districts. So I ended up closing 2 districts and putting the people into other areas, and I moved one district down, which was Schmick's district, and the other one was turned out to be Spiegelman's district. And I tried my best to follow the rules. The rules say try to observe boundaries, things like that, natural boundaries, like the canal, those type of things. The only district I could not keep into one county was Spiegelman's. I came south of Middletown, and it took north of Northern Kent County. I would like to correct that this time, if I can, to try to. Well, it makes no sense to have, a representative district that covers 2 counties. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the rules that they put in place. The common sense rules we should follow. So, what
Thank you.
else?
Does anyone else have any questions? Tom?
Hi, Mr. Speaker. Just one simple question, very easy. Does the House Democratic Caucus in Dover have either a full or a part-time demographics department?
A demographics department?
Demographics, yes.
No, I'm not sure I even understand what you mean. What are you talking about?
Well, do they have either a staff that analyzes the demographics within Delaware? And is that where you get your numbers?
No. The numbers come in through the Census Bureau, and they come with a computer program. We buy the computer program, and it breaks it down into cell blocks, or they call them cell blocks. They're already in cell blocks, and if you click on a cell block, it tells you how many people are in that block in that area. White, black, Indian, Puerto Rican, anything like that. And it tells you, it does not tell you DNR. That's the data that the Department of Election uploads later. There is a way to break a cell block. And I had my computer person last time, he says, I know how to break that cell block. Do you want me to do it? I said, no, don't show me how to do it, because I'll be tempted to do it. And that's how you end up in court. So I didn't do it. We didn't break any cell blocks at all. And the thing is, and what you have to understand is, like, I forget what number it is now, but Mimi, where is she? Minor Brown. Mimi's district, the 17th district. It looks funky, but it's because it's down by the river and there's not many people around in that area. So you might have somebody here. I'm trying to find my camera. Where is it? You might have somebody here and somebody here, and they'll draw both of them into a big part of a cell block, and you can't break it to make the district look more square or anything like that. So sometimes the districts look a little funky just because of the way the cell blocks came out. But we do not have it, and it's broken down very, very easy. I mean, you just click on it. It tells you who's in there, within that boundary, and basically tells you everything you need to know about them. If you want to know how old they are, it tells you how old they are.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. I have hopefully a quick question, and that is, until this redistricting happens, what recommendations do you have for RDs such as ours, which probably will be impacted in terms of trying to plan, in terms of trying to get set for actions so that we're ready to, go into trying to make a difference in Sussex County?
All right. So when they finally set it out, you can get, I think you can anyway. I know they did last time. Some people went together and they got the information as well. And you can make up your own maps and send them to us. You'd have to. So last time, a couple of people sent maps and they tried to they tried to cut me out of the 14th district by coming across the bay and knocking me, going right below me and taking me out of my district. It was ridiculous. But we had a public hearing and people sent their ideas, what we should and shouldn't do. Most of them were self-centered and self-serving, like they didn't like the representative they had, so they wanted to draw a line like this and move him out of their district and put somebody else in there. But there were some good ideas that we tried to look at as well. And on your side of it, I don't know what you can do when you're just looking at your district. You know, it's almost like you have to wait to see what the numbers, where they are, and I can give you a better handle of it. But yours is the last district that I do.
Okay.
So I start at Wilmington, then I go up around by Claymont, and then I come down the left side of the state, down around Newark, and I come down into Kent County, and then I take care of Kent County, and then I come down on the west side of Kent County into Sussex, and then I move my way down, and then because Danny Short and Timmy Dukes and all that bunch on the west side they didn't have as many extra people as what I did, and Ronnie. I had to fill them up first, and then try to figure out what to do with Rich and well, it wasn't Rich then, it was Atkins, but Atkins and Ronnie Gray at the time. So I don't know. It's difficult to say how we're going to work this. I just know it's going to be difficult because the 3 districts that have to lose a lot of people are right together, and all 3 of us basically have nowhere to go on to the east of us. And nowhere to go south of us. I'm not going to move past south of the inlet, and Ronnie can't go into Maryland. So yeah, it causes a problem.
Yeah. Well, do you try to move by EDs, or does that not even factor in?
No, that is more the Department of Election stuff.
Okay.
So no, we don't even look at that. I will tell you how I do this, how I approach this with all the legislators. I go to them and I take a map. And I say, sit down here, and I want to know where your house is. Put an X where you live, because I don't want to inadvertently draw anybody out of a district that 23,000 people voted them into office. I don't think it's my responsibility to take them out. The only time I should do that is when I'm closing a district, or if I just physically cannot. If I push so far down and I can't keep that person in their district, then that's just the way it goes. But I always ask them, tell me where you live. Then I ask them where their mother or father lives, in case they live somewhere close by, or their kids or anything like that, because I try to keep them together if possible. It's not really fair to just separate kids and parents. They put them in 2 different districts because you didn't know where they were. So I do meet with them and try to talk and try to keep everybody in the same district as much as possible. But I just think this time is going to be so much harder than last time. And it wasn't easy last time, but I think this one's going to be, it's really going to be hard. I'm not sure how we're going to do this.
All right. Well, there's always the dartboard. No, only kidding.
Yeah, I know.
Well, thank you so much. Does anyone else have any other questions for Mr. Speaker? Well, on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to thank you for all the work that you do on behalf of the Democratic Party, and the amazing encouraging things that are happening in the legislature this year. So we're very excited, even if we can't participate through our representatives. We have you and the rest of the Democrats to help.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're back in session next week for 2 weeks. Then we do the markup, and markup is when we get the DFAC numbers for May, and we basically go back in Joint Finance Committee and we look at how much money we're predicted to have, how much money we're already committed for, and how much money's in between. And that's when we start to plug it into some of these fiscal notes that come on bills. But I'll be honest with you, it's going to be difficult. The Senate right now is passing bills with fiscal notes on them, and they're not even paying any attention to the fiscal notes. So they're sending them all to me, and I'm trying to follow the rules, and I'm not hearing anything until after markup that costs a lot of money. Because the way this is supposed to work, both sides have a rule that says if the fiscal note is over 50,000 for Senate, 100,000 for us, then it has to go into Appropriations Committee, and you don't run the bill until the Appropriations Committee meets and says they have the money for the bill. The worst thing we could do is pass bills that we don't have appropriated for, and then tell you we can't fund it because we don't have the money. I think you guys would be really upset with us if we did that. But right now, just Tuesday alone, they sent me $5 million worth of new program or additional programs that they've not even looked at or talked about where the money's coming from. So, and prior to that, they've sent me about 20 million worth of stuff that I don't know where the money's coming from. I have no idea. So we're waiting on DFAC. We'll figure it out when DFAC gets here. I haven't run any of these bills, and that's why I haven't done it, because some of them have money attached to it. And some of the controversial ones I don't want to do until we're back in the building so we can have a debate on the floor. I don't like Zoom. It's a pain in the neck, and it is the worst thing for politics I've ever seen in my life. I really believe it's tied for number one with social media when it comes to what's bad in politics. So,
Well, thank you so much.